Hey guys, welcome back to another day of the shop. Today we have things to do. So. Today we are working on 1500 right there. So, I'll show you what I got. Whenever I was doing the repair in the last video for the intake right here. Oh, let's see if I can show y'all without showing y'all stuff. Oh, right here. This is repaired. Still a little bit tacky, but the intake on the truck, since it was damaged in the wreck and since it's a salvage vehicle and has to be rebuilt, the definition of rebuilt means anything damaged in that wreck has to be replaced. So instead of going with your traditional intake like that from a junkyard or brand new, I opted to find out what an eBay air intake would be. So as you see, it's just my little bucket of other parts. eBay intake comes with your tube, your two silicone, what are you going to call those? Yeah, we'll get back to that. Your air intake, kind of Vortec-ish deal, goes on your intake filter, which is a dry, cheap eBay intake filter. And then a heat shield housing. Comes with padding that goes around it so it doesn't get crushed by the hood or anything, and then an intake air tube that goes right here. It also has an isolator to dissipate any vibration so it does not destroy the intake itself or it rattle around. It comes with a couple of clamps right there, a zip tie, a couple screws, and then it comes with a little whatever you want to call that, tab for, I'm guessing it's the radiator hose, because in true fashion of an eBay purchase, it comes with absolutely no directions, no PDF, no nothing that actually explains how to put it together. So let's go over to the truck and take a look. Alright, it's bright today. Well, this hood, I'm starting to hate it. Thinking about taking it off and stepping on it a few times and just putting it on for the weather, because it looks like it's going to be a couple more weeks, because I'm waiting on a bumper and the hood and the fender, and I got to paint all them. So a couple more weeks and then I can start putting in paperwork. Alright, I kind of slapped this back in here. This is what this looks like. Here's your little hose right here that goes into that. This goes into your mass airflow sensor, which goes to your airbox. So first thing is we take this off and we throw it to the side. Second thing is, it rained really bad yesterday, so I had to cover the intake up so it wouldn't get water in it. Everything else has water in it right now, even right here. So I gotta clean that out. Alright, but we're gonna be taking the mass airflow sensor and still using it. We're going to remove this style hose and put a regular hose with hose clamps on it. And as well as we're just going to be bolting up to here, coming across, bolting up to here, have a heat shield here to here, and intake inside there. So with that as well, this hose actually comes way up here, and so the intake needs to come down under it, and one of these is supposed to go in that little tab we saw a minute ago. So I've got to get a looks like a flathead or the correct size ratchet bit, and then I got to get a T25 to take this off, and then there's a couple of plugs in the bottom that hold it to the fender. So I'm gonna get this done. So stand by. since we're still out here, I was looking at the heat shield. It shows that the heat shield has a hole for these 3 bolts right here. So I can either completely eliminate this and take it out, but I kind of like the structural rigidity of it because, like I said, in the impact it kind of bent some of this. So what my next option is, I can either take this out and it takes away the structural rigidity of right here, which isn't a whole lot, but at the same time it would be nice to have. So I'm probably going to leave this in here, possibly, but I'm not completely sure. So when we take this, take the bolts out, we might take all 4 out and just look at what the difference is between that and that one piece of metal. Test out the theory. But let's go in here and take a look at all the pieces and how they go together now that I have everything else out. So we're inside now, and we have your mass airflow sensor. We have this Vortec-ish, I don't know. Yeah. So it has little relief cuts in here, so we can just smash it down on here. Boom. It fits perfectly. But my issue is, you see this lip? This thing is quite snug, but it looks like I've got to put it in there, and then it just stabilizes the end of this. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to place it in here, either with a rubber mallet or whatever I've got to get it in there with, and get it flush, and then we'll put this back on to secure it, so that we can have everything in place for the air filter afterwards. Alright, that piece is in, and once we adjust it for like that, because that's how it's going to go in the car, or the truck, then we want this, you can't see if I point it with the camera, this end pointing like that, because we want that arrow pointing that way anyway, and that's the only way it'll fit. But it's nice to have it kind of the stock location so you can get to that that fitting right there. So we got that. The next part is this coupler. That's what it's called, a coupler. It goes over your mass airflow sensor. Which all my stuff's just gonna fall. Alright, so it goes over here, which looks like it might not be using that size. Alright, we got the smaller one. It looks better. So that goes over there to the pipe, boop, which looks like it should bolt up to here like that. So, but eBay trial almost never 100% fits whenever you want it to. So we're gonna see how this heat shield goes in now and then go from there. Alright, kind of got it in here. It looks like a good placement, but I'm running into this issue right down here. It's touching this fender. So I have a feeling that one of those little curvy jokers goes right here. So I'm going to put it in there to make sure it doesn't sit here and just grind against that fender. And yeah, we should be pretty good to go, because all this is kind of taut and kind of lined up. Just don't want to rub it against anything to ruin anything. So we're gonna put that little rubber piece on, and then I'll probably bolt this down. Alright, got it down, got all the rubber up here. It doesn't look 1,000,000%, but it works. And this isn't gonna vibrate. It's got that one down here. I'm not sure if this one just goes down here or whatever, but it holds off the fact of it does not vibrate while it shakes around. So, and this one hits right here on the radiator support, which isn't too bad, but that could be because this is not 100% square either. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to see how that connects to here, and we're going to go and probably got to move some stuff around a little bit. So let's grab the other piece, the mass airflow sensor, the 2 couplers, and the intake tube. Let me show you from my angle. Well, this is just going to have to move above it. This can technically move somewhere else right now, but with this whole thing, it comes in as an angle. So, other than this coming in at, well, actually 2 different angles. So we're going to figure this section out towards these bins. I guess I can show that farther in. And figure out that little gap right there and what I got to do to make it happen. So, stay tuned. Alright, here's my dilemma, like I was saying. I've got this hooked up. See the angle change right here. Alright, there's a gap right here. So, cutting this tube is possibly what's about to happen. I'll have to look at the distance for the air filter, which shouldn't matter, but as of this tube fitting in the intake right there, we got a little issue with that. Alright, on top of that, let's see. Oh, I feel a nice little gap down here too for that mounting spot. You can't really see it up here, but it's a good distance away as well. So with all this, I can't get this to line up straight with this piece, especially with everything else the way it is. So, bolt-on event with an eBay intake is going to take some fabrication. So, I'm going to put this back in here and I'm going to start measuring it up and probably have to cut at least once and see where we get. So, stay tuned. Alright. After some finagling, good term to use, you should use it all the time. Alright, so it's a little snug in here. This pipe is pushed all the way into the throttle body. I'm hoping it doesn't limit any performance issues due to the fact of the pipe is not right here, it is right back here. I could cut it off about right here, and I may do that later because I will have to take all this back out again. This is tight and holding true, but as you see it's kind of pushed in over here, the little plastic right there. Then over here it's pulling back out. It's because there's a lot of pressure on it right now. There's that isolator that I showed y'all is right down here, but I don't think I'm going to be using it due to the fact of it's just a pain in the butt. Filter's in here, it looks good. Push probably back further, but it looks great. Got this hose kind of cut to length. It's not too bad, it goes right to where it needs to go back here. I cut it a little bit long so it just has room to shake, but this thing is snug on here to the body and the engine, so I'm kind of scared of that because I don't want to break anything, and most likely I'd break one of these plastic pieces if I broke something. So I'll probably have to trim this part back up here a little bit more. As you see, I took the hood off and we're going to straighten it out. Alright, so you saw the video of me doing a little bit of body work. It's almost like brand new. Like I just bought it and repainted it and put it on. But I do have a little issue. doesn't line up, and then I can't shut it because it almost latches, except this big gap right here. So, but it works. So for the time being, with the weather the way it is, no hood, that's coming out, and that'll get covered up. So as I carry my filter around. Any questions about this install of an eBay air intake? Comment below. If you like the video and see how complicated it is for an $80 filter and tube and all that, it gives you insight about the plug and playness of an eBay intake, which is you got to cut, and you got to cut some more, and then you got to measure, and then you got to cut some more. You might as well just buy some intercooler piping or something like that and make it yourself. That's my opinion. But as of just cutting it, it's not the prettiest now because I kind of beat it up a little bit with my Sawzall. I didn't care too much because no, I'm not going to lift my hood and let people look at my engine. Not that engine. It's a 5.3. It's got nothing special to it. No turbo, no nothing else. Just a shiny intake with sort of red couplers that came in the eBay kit. So, the gist of that. Thank you for joining in on my video. Check out Teesprings, Facebook, Instagram. Like it. Subscribe. Join in one of our giveaways. Follow me for the next video, which is probably more than likely, hopefully, I need to do it, seat belts and the airbag. And when I do that, I'm also going to have to look at the steering wheel and find out why it's loose. But that might be a video on its own. My lovely headlights. Anyway, like I said, till next time.